Hi people, Moin over, even back here again as always, and as usual. I've got a nice juicy story here for people that, for example, that want a picture perfect example of how scammers use black magic to get targets involved in romance scams and whatnot. I'm going to also add this to a relevant article that I did back in the day, specifically how African scammers go to work and how they involve the occult in their affairs. You can find that linked in the description of this video, and you can also find part 1 as well as part 2 of this story in full if you want to listen to it or watch it in full, linked in the description of this video. I'm simply going to play a couple of highlights for you. Long story short, I'm going to give you a summary before I begin. Long story short, this is about a woman that you can tell was scammed for $1 million, an American woman. She was scammed by an African scammer, if I'm not mistaken, from South Africa. And I simply want you to hear highlights of the story. So yeah, let's begin.
The following story was submitted to us. The story itself was verified with screenshots, payment details, which included her bank details, the bank details of several other people. This story includes mentions of black magic and oaths as a theory as to why this target victim sent so much money. This story is in her own words, and the only edits to this story was the name of the victim and her family information, her husband's name, and her location to help hide her identity, and for her own safety. And a few edits to keep it YouTube friendly. We edited out any curse words, etc. This story has taken me roughly a month to record and review. It's complex. It's a bit shocking what someone would do to be with someone they think they love. While I know this story will be met with some negative comments with regards to the lady who shared it, this is not uncommon. In the over 10 years we've been helping romance scam victims, this type of situation happens more often than many people realize. This will be in 2 parts due to the length of her story.
Okay, so it's a fully acknowledged and double-checked story to verify its authenticity and its legitimacy by the manager and the owner and or managers of this channel. Now listen to this section. This is going to be an interesting section.
George reminded me that we took an oath to be together forever.
You heard it. He told her to recite an oath, and she went along with it because she simply, out of gullibility, she simply thought it was something cute or whimsical, etc. But he asked her to repeat an oath that he told her to recite 3 times or similar.
He would remind me of this often while he was romantic, and I found this odd. George told me that I would make the right decision. Over the next few nights after George and I would text or voice call, I would have wild dreams. I've never been an avid person to remember my dreams, but I would dream about weird things. I would dream of fires and hooded figures, dream of traveling to places, and I couldn't explain where they were. I would have nightmares of being chased by people, all kinds of crazy stuff. I thought maybe lack of sleep caused it.
Yeah, and that's enough. No need to make this video longer than it needs to be. Yeah, you heard that. She's not an advent dreamer, and then all of a sudden, the second this thing happened to her, she started getting a lot of dreams that she couldn't explain, but dreams that were quite intense, or better said, nightmares, realistic and whatnot. So I left a comment on part 2 of this video. This is part 2. And yeah, not a lot to say. It's other than stating the obvious. So yes, this woman was taken advantage of. The scammer in question most likely used African witchcraft or necromancy, and that explains all the signs that she had. It's essentially her astral body trying to warn her that, hey, you know, we're being influenced, so heads up. And yet she didn't heed the call, or she was too deep into the proverbial rabbit hole. That's all. Bye.